All right, so this is what we're doing. As you can see, we have the top view of part 21, the side view of part 21. And here is what's new, the section view, right underneath the side view. It's as though we just cut this thing in half, right? Right on this red line. Yeah, so what have we got new here? We have this line type, which is new. You can see it's a double dash. So the section line, which is what this is made up of a new line type, and that is a phantom line type. So we're going to have to create a new layer for that. We're also going to have to create a new layer for these section lines, these angled lines. Okay. So probably before we do any drawing, we ought to take care of that. Let's go to layers and check that out. So you can see that I have a new layer here. I will click on it called Phantom. And you could make that simply by creating a new layer. I'll do it with you right now, naming it Phantom. And then going to the layer type, which is the line type, which is right here. And you're going to have to go to Load and come on down to Phantom. There it is. And hit OK. And then load that thing in there and make yourself a new layer. So you can see the phantom line layer there has a heavy line weight. It is the same as the object line weight. So that's 0.53. And then my other new layer right beneath that you see is the section line layer. And that line weight is 0.35, which is the same as our dimension line weight. The line type is the same as our dimension, which is continuous, and I just made a different color, green. So there's nothing really special about that layer other than the fact that it is a different color. So again, the two layers that I've created, phantom line layer, which I made red, its line type is phantom, its line weight is 0.53, and then the section layer I've made green, line type is continuous, line weight is 0.35. So that's a little business that we had to take care of before we can do this drawing. Okay, let's get started on the actual drawing. I'm going to turn my construction layers on so you can see what I got here. You're going to want to make obviously the first one, which is your center line there, and then a vertical one. And I'll just do it randomly here. Put my ortho on, there it is. Okay. We have 4 circles we have to make, and they're all right off the drawing. You can see 2.5, 3.5, 1 3/4, 7 1/4. So again, those are all right off the drawing. Doesn't matter what order you do them in. I'll just go from biggest to smallest. So this first one is 7.25. And remember, AutoCAD has the radius is the default. So you either divide 7 1/4 by 2, or you type D, enter, and then specify the diameter, which is what I'm going to do, 7.25. There it is. Hit enter again, click on the center again, pull outward, type D, enter again, and this is the next one, which is 3.5. Click enter, click the center, type D, enter, 2.5, and lastly, enter, click the center, type D, enter, and then 1.75. So those are all of the circles that we're going to need. Next thing we're going to do is project down the width of all these circles using construction lines. So I'm going to go construction line, XL, enter, and then vertical, V, enter. And this, click all these points of interest here. All right. Now, as far as these, I'll redo these other guys with you. So getting the horizontal lines in place, the first one you're going to put down is kind of random. To avoid confusion, I will have it line up with the one I already did here. But you can just put that pretty much anywhere you want. And then offset upward. You can see the first thickness right here, dimensioned here is 0.75. And then the next thickness would be 3.75. So O, enter, 0.75. And then enter again. And that's actually 3 up from that one. So there you go. And now you have all the lines that you need to do this drawing. Go to my object layer, and there's the base. And here is the upper portion. Of course, we also have this tapered hole. So now we're able to show that with a hidden line. And it starts on the larger one there, and it goes to the more narrow one there. Looking pretty good. Next thing to do would be to put the center line, and yeah, we'll do that. So I'm going to offset these guys 1/4 inch. So I can place my center line appropriately. There you go. And I could offset them again to do the dimensions. I might hold off on that for just a little bit. I think I'll do my dimensioning after I get the section view in place. So the section view is what is next. And that's just a matter of copying this view. So let's do that. I'm going to select all of these guys and just say copy, C-O, enter. And I'm just going to drag it on down until it lines up with the other one that I did, which is approximately right there. Okay. In order to convert this drawing that we did into a section line drawing, I'm going to turn off my construction lines because they're going to get in the way. And then I'm going to do a little trimming. So TR, enter. I'm going to trim this guy here. And this guy here. Okay, I'm going to move my hidden lines onto my object line layer by simply clicking on them and then selecting the object layer. Okay. And now I'm going to place the actual section lines. So this is new information for you. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to go to my layer that I want to do this on first, the section line layer. And then I'm going to come over here onto my Draw tab, and you can see the hatch is right there. So we're going to use this hatch fill. So I've clicked on the hatch, and you can see there are some various options. We'll go with this one called ANSI 31. It's a very common one. It's going to be used to show steel. And if I don't do anything, if I just click on that and go with the defaults and simply click in the area that I'm interested in, you can see that the lines are really close together. Too close. So what I need to do is come right over here to scale, hatch pattern scale, where it says 1, and bump that up to a 2. And now I can click in these two areas and they look good. So there you go. That is, that's what I'm after. And then give it the green check mark when you're done. Hit close. And there you go. Okay. What's next? The cut line is next. How am I going to do that cut line? Well, I'm going to turn my construction lines back on, utilize that. I'm going to offset my outer circle here a 1/4 of an inch. And do that again, sorry, so that it's a 1/2 inch offset. You remember, that's the room that we need to have whenever we're doing any dimensions or anything like that. We need to have that 1/2 inch space between the object and anything else. And with that, I can now place my dimensions, because I have that, and I can also create the this cut line. So let's do the cut line first. Using my new layer, the phantom layer, I'm just going to draw a line that goes from one side to the other. So from there to there. That's it. And since I have this at my disposal, might as well do the dimensions as well. They are circular. And I'm going to do the 0.75, 1.75 here. And this guy maybe right here. I think I have to put my nearest snap on so it grabs hold of the circle. Something like that. Okay. So I've got pretty much done with this outer circle now that I use just to place the dimensions and the cut line. So now I'm going to delete that outer circle. All right. Last thing I need to do is put these little leaders. And let me zoom in on one so you can see what I'm talking about here. It's a leader. It's an arrowhead on a line segment, which is a leader. And then we have the letter A above it, because there can be more than one section. And you can see how we label sections. Down here, you can see this one is labeled section AA. I'll zoom in on that so you can see what I'm talking about. So we label them because oftentimes there's more than one section view. Okay, so how do you do that leader? I know you've done leaders before, but check this out. I'm gonna show you how to make this really easy, and that way we can use it on all the rest of these drawings. In our annotation, remember how there is a leader style? It's right below our dimension style. There it is, multi-leader. And I want you to make one that is just for doing these cut lines. So come up here and say, manage multi-leader styles and make a new one. Okay, so you can click on Howard or the name that you made before and make a new one. And let's see what it looks like here. It's super simple. Under leader format, we have it as straight, by block, all this stuff by block, closed. The size is what's important. It's 0.25. That's the size of the arrowhead. So it's twice the size of normal, double. Going to leader structure. I unchecked all of these. None of this stuff is going to be used. None of it. And on content, again, nothing. Multi-leader type, none. Because basically it's just an arrowhead and a line. So there's not going to be any text. There's not going to be an elbow. There's not going to be a first or second segment. There's none of this stuff. So this is all wiped out. All it is just, that's of any significance, is that it's an arrowhead that's that big. Okay, so once you've got that leader style selected, you can then click on leader here. And when you make a leader, you'll see it makes it pretty big. And that's all it is. So you just, again, you just click and then hit enter. So click leader and then click the start, click the end and hit enter. And that's all it is. It's just an arrowhead on a line. So to do what we're going to do here, the length is not critical. I made mine 1 inch long. And to do that, I just offset this center line an inch. So O, enter, 1, enter. And there he is, offset an inch. And then in the right layer, I went to my leader and just clicked above and then below. There it is. And hit the enter button and did the same on this side, or you could copy it, which is even easier. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. So rather than make a second one here, I'm just going to mirror it over. So check this out. Let's zoom in on this guy so you can see what I'm doing. And I've made my one leader, and looks like I missed a little bit here. Move him over. And now I'm going to put the letter A above there. And the letter A also needs to be twice as large. So when you go to your text box, just click text and just make a text box. It's something like that. And type the letter A in caps. Be sure to select it and then make it twice as big, 0.25. There it is. Okay, so that A is now 0.25, and he's good. And then you can move him, just grab hold of him, and do your best to center it up on the arrowhead. Just eyeball that, there it is. And now I'm just going to mirror my leader and the letter A. So I'm going to type M-I for mirror, and select those guys, and then mirror it about the axis there. There it is. And that just saved me the trouble of having to do that again on the other side. Okay, well, Things are getting really close here. All I got to do now is offset my construction lines a little more so I can make these other dimensions. And I will do that on my dimension layer. And one more time. And the last dimension is the title of this section view. So we always do that. And it's section AA. I'll zoom in here, see what I'm doing. And same thing, just go into my text box and gonna type in all caps. Oops, this is the first one, huh? And it's A-A, so that's how that's done. A-A, and that should be in our standard height of 0.125, just like all text. The only text that isn't that is gonna be the letters that go on the cut line. And then of course you can move that to its proper position, something like that. Okay. Turn off my construction lines. Oh, I'm missing the center line, of course, on this upper view. You know how to do that. Just make sure it extends 1/4 of an inch beyond the outside. And that's it.